Hey guys, today I'm going to continue my F1 2012 career mode. It's the second round of the season Malaysia, and as you can see there is some upgrades for the car. I'm going to be testing a new front wing during this practice session. And as you can see it's a bit damp, so I'm using the intermediate tires and I completely go off the track. This corner is going to be really difficult throughout the weekend because I have to brake and turn at the same time and I'm playing on a keyboard, so yeah, it's not an easy corner to do. I skipped to the end of the R&D program, and as you can see I finishing the program and I passed it, so hopefully this upgrade will help us a bit during the race. So it's qualifying and the track is actually wet or damp, so I would have to use the inters, but I put on some slicks because I thought that, it's kinda going to be good enough for slicks, but as you can see it's just completely understeer. There is no dry line or anything like that, so it's impossible to set a quick lap on the slick tires. So as I was sitting in the garage, I realized that this very well could be my chance to get into Q2 if I can time it right, because as you can see this is the end of Q1 and the track is a lot drier than what it was before. So I was thinking that if I can set a lap on options while the track is the driest, I might be able to get into Q1, because the AI is still on inters. Their fastest lap was set on intermediate tires, so yeah, that was the idea, but as you can see I can't really get the tires up to temperature, it's still wet. So I will begin my fast lap, and as you can see the timing is perfect, so the track is going to be the driest it can be, but the tire temps are absolutely horrible, so it doesn't look good. So entering the final corner, and let's see where this lap will get me. I was the only one on slick tires, so it's only P22. So as you can see I couldn't really get up the tires up to temperature, and the track was still a bit too wet for the slicks, but I had to try. This was quite literally the only chance I could get to get into Q2, but it didn't really work out. So it's time for the race. There is a 32% chance for rain, and Fernando Alonso won the qualifying ahead of Rosberg, then Massa, Hamilton, Button, Schumacher, Vettel, Perez, Raikkonen and Grosjean. Vettel is pretty down on the grid, only 7th, and the two Lotus is also only P9 and P10. Then Mark Webber on 11th, he didn't even make it to Q3. Senna, Maldonado, Ricciardo and Paul Di Resta. Hülkenberg 16th, Jean-Eric Vergne, Kobayashi, and then of course the rest of the grid: Petrov, Kovalainen, Glock, me and De La Rosa and Kartikeyan. This is going to be the grid for the race. So we are at the start of the race, and as usual my start is pretty bad. The mode I'm using changes the gear ratios for both the player and the AI, but for some reason the AI doesn't have this handicap at the start of the race. But we fell back to the last place, but we are already making up some ground, trying to avoid any unnecessary contact with my teammate or anybody else. Don't want to damage the car. Slowly coming to the end of the first lap, and I do the usual mistake. This is going to be a really frequent mess up throughout the entire race. We gave Petrov an opportunity to get alongside me, but he's going to back out of the move, but I missed the braking point to the last corner. He gets ahead into the first corner, but brake really late, and I kinda messed it up again. So it's lap 5 and we are missing a driver, And that driver is going to be Fernando Alonso, who scored pole position again. Ends up retiring. Last time out in Australia, he also qualified on pole and then ended up developing an issue which made him drop out of the points completely. And now he qualifies P1 again and then retires from the race again. So it's not a great start for Fernando this season. 2 races and 0 points so far for him. So it's lap 7 and a bit of an update on the race. Button leads ahead of Hamilton, then Vettel, Massa, Rosberg, Schumacher, Raikkonen, Maldonado, Perez, Grosjean, Webber and Ricciardo. So it's lap 12 and as you can see in a minute, Lewis Hamilton retired from second place, so he's not going to score any points this race. And what actually is surprising is that Kovalainen in 15th place is able to keep up with the midfield or the end of the midfield, which is pretty worrying if we plan on beating them by the end of the season. So it's the end of lap 17 and I'm making my first pit stop. I'm going to put on a new set of prime tires because I want to go until the rain actually comes, because as you can see for the last few laps the clouds really came over the track, so it's going to rain at some point and I don't want to pit again. If I put on a new set of options, then I would have to pit again before I switch to inters, that's for sure. So it's lap 23 and as you can see it's raining, so I will probably have to come to the pits to switch to intermediate tires in the next 5, 4, 6 laps. So it's the end of lap 25 and the track is now wet enough for the intermediate tires. Everybody is going to come into the pits and switch to inters. Lap 28 and the track is at the point where you need wet tires. As you can see, I just completely go off the track because wet tires are now needed. So it's lap 31 and I'm going to overtake Petrov for P18. It's a bit of a harsh overtake, I kinda hit him, but we made the move stick. So it's lap 40, the rain stopped raining a few laps ago, so it's now dry enough for intermediates and that's why I'm coming into the pits to switch back to inters. And this kinda starts a pretty chaotic or weird thing with the AI, but you will see that in a minute. So Grosjean is on the wet tires, meanwhile I'm on the intermediates, and as you can see I'm a lot quicker than him. I mean, look at the difference in the acceleration. So the AI has trouble deciding what kind of tires to put on. As you can see, a lot of them pitted 4 or 5 times. Some of them are on the inters, some of them are on the wets. So what is happening is that in the first sector you are quicker on the intermediates, but in the second and third sector you are quicker on the wets, and the AI just can't decide what kind of tire to put on. I never seen this bug or glitch happen ever in I don't even know how many hours I played this game, so it's really surprising. It's a lap 43 and Button leads ahead of Vettel, Rosberg, Massa, Perez, Grosjean, Webber, Raikkonen, Schumacher, Kobayashi, Maldonado and Di Resta, and now everybody is on the intermediate tires. So it's lap 46 and as you can see there is some trouble ahead. Both Mark Webber and Romain Grosjean end up spinning. I think what's happening is that the track is now dry enough for option tires or for slick tires, and the intermediates just overheat to the point where they lose our grip and the AI has trouble navigating that corner. So entering the last corner for the final time, I'm running 17th currently, and that's where I'm going to finish. I finished 17th, my teammate Timo Glock P20 sorry. And you're looking at the final results. Jensen Button wins ahead of Vettel and Rosberg, Felipe Massa 4th, Sergio Perez 5th, Grosjean 6th, Michael Schumacher 7th, Webber 8th, Raikkonen 9th and Kobayashi P10. Then we have Maldonado and Di Resta. Rosberg is done really well this race. I mean, he finished on the podium. He started second, but finished on the podium. He did a great race. Sebastian also did well. He finished second, coming from 7th. And then Button wins from 5th place. But I guess that's kind of lucky because Fernando retired very early on in the race. So Kobayashi also did well. He started 18th and finished 10th. Bruno Senna 13th, Ricciardo 14th, Vergne 15th, Hülkenberg 16th. I finished 17th ahead of the two Caterhams, then my teammate and the two HRTs. So we once again beat the two Caterhams, but that was kind of lucky because Kovalainen did really well this race. He was able to keep up with the back of the midfield cars, so that's kind of worrying that they can pull out this kind of performance in a race weekend. And now the Drivers' Championship, Jensen Button leads ahead of Lewis Hamilton, then Massa, Raikkonen, Perez, Vettel, Rosberg, Webber, Schumacher, Grosjean, Kobayashi and Pastor Maldonado. And now the lower half, Paul Di Resta is the last point scorer, then the two Toro Rossos, Bruno Senna 16th, Hülkenberg 17th and Fernando Alonso, who scored pole positions so far, is only 18th place. So this was the second round of the season. Next up is going to be China. So thank you for watching. Bye.